Hey guys, this is Jason, Mustang Rehab. Today is going to be a random repair day. My Ford 7600 tractor here has got a hydraulic cylinder leak, and I guess I take for granted knowing how to do this, but truthfully I have only learned how to do this within the last couple of years. For whatever reason, I've always been I was a little scared of it. For I don't know why. I just would always take it to somebody else, let them rebuild it. Well, one day I just finally decided to take it upon myself, and there's absolutely nothing to it. And what we're going to do is just put some new seals in it, because it's starting to leak out to the end of the shaft here. You can see it's getting wet, and under pressure it'll just start dripping. And you can look on the ground, Jeremy can show you where it's just, you know, leaking fluid. So we need to get that fixed. So anyways, let's do this, and I'll show you that you can rebuild your own cylinder. I say rebuild. We're going to call this a leak repair. We're going to replace the seals in it. So we'll get started here, show you what I do. So the first thing we're going to have to do is I'm going to get the pins removed from your keepers into your shaft. And I know this can be a pretty general repair for this type of cylinder. It doesn't have to be on this is on my front loader. It can be basically any type of shaft, any type of hydraulic shaft anyways. So just get it removed, and on a tractor like this, you just have to remove your keeper pins, drive them out, remove your hydraulic hoses. Make sure you don't have any load on your tractor, because you break these lines loose, it's going to spray hydraulic fluid everywhere. Right now the tractor is relaxed in its position, it can't go anywhere. So I'm not worried about it. We'll get a little bit of leakage, but not too bad. All right, well, remove your cylinder, your hoses anyways. Just crack them first, and then give them a little movement. If there's pressure on it, at least it won't, it's going to bleed out around the threads and all. There's no pressure on it. So, see, not even leaking, so that's good. A little bit on that one. That was just a wire keeper to keep it from rubbing up against the support of the front end loader. So I'll put another one on it when I get done. So it's basically loose. All I need to do now is drive out the pins. This can be a little bit more of the aggravating part. It's going to be easy. I would say this is one of those days you want to go buy lottery tickets for a pin to come out that easy. So we'll let that one hold. The support's in the way, so this pin's got to come out this other direction. I'm not lying, that is. Y'all ever have a day like that? Just come right out. If I'd planned to do this in a hurry, I'd be out here all day long trying to fight these pins out. It's awesome. So, that one. Now we'll take it inside and show you guys. Well, you might can see it now. You can look around here and see where the seal is starting to break. So I'm not sure if you have enough light. All right, so if you have a vise, this is a great time to use it. Get your cylinder put in there. If you have a bucket or something, have it under. I'm put it up under the end that I'm removing. So if it does leak out any excess oil that's in there. All right, come right over here and let me show them this. All right, this end cap on this cylinder actually has a piece of wire that's inside here. This doesn't screw off. You actually have to remove a wire that's placed inside the cap. That's, let's see how to explain this. It's got a cavity. You actually roll this in and it sucks the wire in, and that actually becomes what holds the cylinder together. Some of these end caps on these hydraulic cylinders actually screw out. So if you can see visual threads on yours, your end cap will just screw apart. Well, this hydraulic cylinder has this impression, which tells me it's got the wire inside, so you have to fish the wire out and roll it out. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. Sorry, I don't know the technical term, but I just know how it works. So I'm not claiming to be an expert, I'm just claiming to show you that I can show you how to replace your own seals. All right, so what you're gonna need to start with, if you have any small punches laying around, again, I've done this 3 times on that tractor. This is the 4th and final cylinder on it. So I took a punch and I just sort of sharpened it just a little bit on the end. So that way, when you rotate the end cap here, you'll be able to see a gap in the wire. So I have a little chain wrench here. You can use a pipe wrench. When you rotate it, just keep watching in here until you see a split. And what that is that's a piece, little wires in there. Let's see. There you go. See a little gap right there. So what I do is I take this little tool and get it shoved in there, and you just sort of help it out. All right, now you see it just rolling out like a little worm. Just keep rolling. Back up just a little bit, you can see. I just roll that cap and it keeps rolling this wire out. All right, back it up. And on the end of your wire, it'll have this little hook. So that hook goes in a hole. When I take it apart, I can show you a little bit easier and explain it, how all this works. But this is what's keeping this end piece on, and now this will just come out. Just take your cylinder. Get grease on you there. And it just sort of pops out. There you go. Cylinder is disassembled. While we're talking about this end piece, I'll show you what I was talking about. Come right over here. That wire here, this wire feeds down inside here, and it just sort of locks it in place. When then as you rotate it, it just sucks it back inside the main body here of your cylinder. So this is all it needs to lock it in place. So, all right. What we need to do now is to remove basically this is the piston of the shaft. This runs back and forth. Again, I'm not saying I'm rebuilding the cylinder because it's been operating fine. I'm just getting leakage around the front. So I'm not going to replace any of this. I'm not going to replace the piston. I have to remove it so I can get this off to put new seals in it. All right, if you have an impact wrench, this is when it would be good. If not, you can do it with regular wrenches, and it's going to have to hold it real tight. All right. So, I'm going to use a block of wood to bump this off. You don't want to really hammer on this is like aluminum, and you really don't want to hammer on that with your hammer and get it beat up. So if you just use a block of wood, it'll to work off. A little seal right here on the end. But this is internal, and I haven't had any trouble with these. My issues come in this. Yeah. So now you can see how cracked and deteriorated this seal is. So we're going to replace that. Oh yeah, and then right inside here, I don't know if they can, I'm going to rotate it. Yeah, there's a crack right where my finger is inside. That seal's cracked too. That's the two seals I bought. So which is this outer and the inner. And replacing those should keep you from having a leaky cylinder. Give you years of service again. So I've already bought the seals. Again, I bought in pairs of 2. And now I'm on my last one, which is my last cylinder, so hopefully I won't have to do this again for a while. But really and truly, I replaced one. The next month, another one went out. So those 2 have ran quite a while. And then I would say 3 months ago, right about the time the coronavirus stuff started, I had a leak on my other cylinder, so I said I'm just going to buy 2 more seals, 2 more seal sets. And sure enough, I fixed it. Next time I used my tractor, the other seal went to leaking. So if you have multiple cylinders, you might as well go ahead and buy you a few extra sets so you don't have to, go back and hunt them down again. But I'll show you how to measure them here in a second so you can determine what size seal you need. Let me explain to you. Okay, so the next step is just getting the old seal out. And there's, honestly, there's not really a good way. What I'm going to do is kind of get some of this mess out of the way. You see how dry and brittle this is? It shouldn't do that. But we'll get all that out of the way. So what I'm looking for is this little lip right here. That's steel. This all is aluminum. So I'm going to get probably use this little screwdriver and just kind of work this seal out. Sure, there's a better way, but this is just how I do it. Set it here on this block of wood. Got the flat edge in. And I'll just give it a tap. Let me get my little punch out. I really don't like to go this direction because this is, you have to, when you press your seal back in, this is where it seals. If I mark it up a little bit at the back, it's not going to be as detrimental, but if I mark up this outer edge here, where this seal goes in, you have the possibility of that oil going behind it. So I'm just going to take my time here and keep working the race. I don't know, we want to call it the steel portion of the seal. Kind of like a bearing race. Alright, I've got it's starting to come up. I just want to show you guys, like I said, this is what I do. You just kind of start working this seal up, this metal part of the seal, and you can see in here it's starting to raise up. So I should be able to get a screwdriver in here now and kind of walk it up, just going around the edge. See, it's coming out. Just again, the key is just take your time so you don't damage it. It being that far out, I should just be able to tap on it with a hammer. Okay, this is what I was getting out. This is the back side of your seal. Boy, it's been worked on before. I didn't do all that. That's a lot of damage from somebody else. So, that's good. We're in good shape there. You can tell, yeah, they kind of boogered that just a little bit. I'll file that before I put it back together. But now I need to get the interior seal out, and it doesn't have a steel backer, so it's just rubber. See right there where it was broken. So just kind of knock it out. All right, we've got our rod seal out and our wiper seal removed, and for whatever reason it just had slipped my mind the name of the seals. Wiper is on the front, rod is the one that's down in the center. So when you go to a parts house looking for the right part, you know what you're looking for. Wiper's on the front, which wipes the rod, keeps it clean as it's going in and out, and then your rod seal is the one that's embedded inside of the cup here. All right, I told you it looked like somebody beat it up a little bit on an earlier repair, so what I did is I took my Dremel, and just where they kind of knocked over this aluminum a little bit, I knocked the edge of it off. So that way it doesn't distort my seal when I drive it in here in a minute. You see just a little bit right there too. It had a little place where it had been hit. So I'm going to put my rod seal in first. Basically it's got this ridge on it. Let's see if you can see it. So with that ridge, the ridge goes towards the front. So this, I say towards the front, towards the outside of the cylinder. So this goes in the cylinder, this will go towards the front, just like that. So this is kind of tricky, putting it in. So let me see. What I've had to do in the past is get a pair of needle nose. Alright, so this looks like I'm abusing the seal, but again, this is just rubber. But what I have to do is I kind of use this to hold it in place. Use a pair of needle nose to pinch it. Sorry. There's no easy way of doing this. Not to show you down inside what I'm actually doing. There it goes. Sorry about the very little technique to show you. So if you can see this lip, it's sort of the swelled edge, it's towards the front of the shaft. You know, towards the outside of the shaft. So your cylinder would all be back here, the outer portion of your hydraulic cylinder pointing out in this direction, so you want that lip that way. So once you've fought that into place, then we'll go with our wiper seal. Here is a wiper seal how it's supposed to look. It's nice, good, soft edge. This is what was in there. Told you guys I would show you how to measure this, but that's assuming you would all have a micrometer. Well, you know, you measure the outside, this portion here for your wiper seal, you measure from here to here as your OD dimension. Measure the size of your shaft, and then you also need this dimension here, which is the depth of your seal. You can take those to your local hydraulic shop and they can match it up, or the easiest thing is just go ahead and take your cap to the hydraulic shop. They'll sell you a set of seals, you put them in yourself. Seals will cost you about $35 and fix it yourself, and I think they charge somewhere around $100 to $150 to repair it, to rebuild the cylinder there at the shop. So you'll save yourself $100 just doing it yourself. Alright, so now we just drive the seal in. What I'll do is I'm just going to see if I can get it started. Just working it back and forth. That's not going to work. I'm going to have to get a socket. See. Okay, to put your seal in, this is where people destroy the seals if you're not careful. What I like to use is a socket, or if you have a seal pusher, use it. But I'll hold it and try to get it lined up pretty good. And just like that. It's that easy. I'm not going to force it on. I just know I pushed in one side. You don't want that. See, it'll pop right back out. But if you keep forcing it, you'll bend your seal. So make sure it goes down nice and easy. So I can feel it bottom out. It has a different tone to the hammer. See, it should be nice and even across here. And again, I'm not telling you this is how you do it in a professional shop. This is how you're going to do it at your house, in your backyard shed, if you want to fix this stuff yourself. So, this method works. So we're just about done now, so we just need to reassemble it the way we took it apart. Alright, you can just go in your cylinder and just get a little grease and just kind of lube your seal up inside and out. Alright, so this has got to be just the way it came off. That's good. You can tell the difference of that new seal is much tighter, so that's good. Now we need our piston. This one has a little turned area. Yeah, I know it's what goes towards the seal on the shaft. Again, a block of wood. Get under you. Alright. So when you're setting this back together, just kind of get a mental note where your hole is, and so it's going to be just over from this, because sometimes you have to rotate it a little bit to get it back in. Reassembly. Your wrench on it, get it set up. Alright, so here we are again. You got your hook, and then can you see the hole in there? Okay, you have the hole. Get that set, and what happens is it'll just pull the wire back in as I rotate this. That's it. Just roll it a little bit so it's beyond there. Sealed up. That's one cylinder fixed. So seals replaced, ready to go back on. So we'll just replace it, hook the hoses back up. We'll be done. Alright, this pins are in. If you have a new one, if you have new cotter pins, you can put new ones in. Just going to reuse these. I'm sorry guys, I know a lot of you guys watch. You always see me swatting at my face. We're in Alabama and state bird is a gnat. And so if it's not a gnat, it's sweat, because it's always hot here too. Alright, pins are in, so we just get our hoses hooked back up. Same location that they come off, which this one, there's hard to get them mixed up. And front one. And I'm just going to tie strap it like they had it. I guess it just keeps the hoses from getting pinched. Smaller straps, so I'm just going to use 2. All right. Well, hopefully this has helped you save a couple dollars and realize that you can do these yourself. Because again, I don't really understand why I was so hesitant to even attempt to rebuild one up until a couple years ago. I've done so many different things, but there's really nothing to it, and just getting the right seals. So give it a shot. Appreciate you watching. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next go round. Thanks.